Here are 15 of the best Ask Reddit stories for today. I hope you enjoy and remember to subscribe. It really helps us out. We post new videos every day.
Yesterday was my birthday and it was the worst one I have ever had. It was my 29 female birthday yesterday and it was an awful day. My mom and dad insisted on taking me to a museum I've wanted to visit for a while and said the admission would be my present. We got there and it was free. After the museum we went to lunch. I had a restaurant in mind but my mom insisted on one she likes. We get there and my dad asked who was paying. I didn't want to cause a scene so I offered to pay. When they came to order they ordered a bottle of wine for £35 and scoffed that I wanted a cocktail. I don't drink wine. It doesn't agree with me. The bill came to more than £100 and they offered to cover the wine only. They didn't even cover the entire cost of the bottle. I'm going on holiday to Spain later this week and they presented me with some pesos they have had for 30 plus years from their honeymoon. I pointed out Spain has been in the Eurozone for about 20 years so I wouldn't be able to spend them, but they shrugged and called me ungrateful. They also gave me a gift basket filled with food I'm allergic to. I checked the food basket online to see if I could exchange it for one I could eat and it was £21. I'm venting because the reality is I would have been happy with a £10 bottle of Prosecco and some chocolates, but they got me stuff I can't use. They're getting my sister an iPad Pro, over £1,000, for her birthday and they've just bought my brother a car. Money shouldn't be an issue for them. My dad is a manager earning £72,000 before taxes and they recently inherited £100,000 but it's not what they spend on me that bothers me, it's the lack of effort. They both turned 60 this year and I bought them an expensive trip away with all the extras, spa, afternoon tea, champagne in the room, flowers, dinner, in a place they've always wanted to travel to. It was meant to be a joint gift for myself and my siblings, where all
My girlfriend said, "Is there basketball on?" Then put on the game and walked away. 2 hours later, I'm like, what is she doing? She's napping. She turned it on to keep me occupied like a toddler.
What are some real but crazy facts that could save your life? If you sit down to shit in prison, remove one foot completely from your pants so you can get up and fight if attacked. Not too crazy, but if someone is acting drunk but didn't had any alcohol, ask them to smile. If one side of their mouth is down, take them to a doctor cause they are having or will have a stroke. Before you actually go on a date with someone you should always visit spyfly.com because you can easily get a background report of anyone. Definitely worth the click. If you're choking, don't get embarrassed, don't go to the bathroom, don't walk away from people. I've seen a couple people nearly die because they were panicking and walked away from the dinner tables and such while choking. Do the universal sign for choking with both your hands on your neck, and most people will get the message.
My little sister just called me dad. Been raising her on my own for a few months now. She was in a car accident with my parents, who passed away unfortunately, and she was the only one who survived. She's nonverbal, she does talk, but only in short and brief sentences, and I decided to get her an articulated doll to help her communicate better. Once the doll arrived, I surprised my sister with it and she was ecstatic. She pulled the doll right out of the box, and hugged me, and said, "Thanks Dad." She realized what she had just said, and signaled that she was sorry with her doll. Don't how to feel right now, don't get me wrong, I am not mad or anything, just rather surprised. I guess it's all falling on me now, that my dad really is not here and I'm the man of the house now. My dad and I were really close, and it just feels wrong. It doesn't feel right to think I'm taking his place. In a way though, it's a relief to hear her say that because it means I'm doing something right. The truest form of friendship is hanging out with someone while they clean their room. I miss that. It happens a lot in high school. I wanted to let everyone here know that a little girl came up to my door dressed as a shark last night. I gave her M&Ms and she said, "Thank you, I love you." Her mom said you're supposed to say Happy Halloween, and the girl said she gave me Nem-Nems. I love her.
I'm on my way to F my sister's one true love. According to her he is her one true love. She couldn't have him so she decided that she will only ever screw around one of them? My fiancé. I know her one true love. I have met him a few times. Now I know why he never wanted her. She is a piece of shite. I contacted him and told him everything and asked him, no begged him, to help me hurt her back. He didn't even hesitate. Only problem is that he lives 1,200 kilometers away and can't leave town. So now I'm on a train on my way to him. I will send her a picture of myself in his arms kissing the lips she dreamed about kissing for 7 years. Just venting. I don't want to hear that it takes two to tango or that two wrongs doesn't make one right or that I'm as crappy as she is or that revenge won't take away the hurt. I know all this. I don't care. So keep your judgment for yourself, thanks.
The difference between dog and cat rescue stories. Dog owners will be like, oh, I prepped for months and applied and had a home check, then did a foster to adopt trial period and then the rescue chose me. And cat owners are like, I found him in the trash.
Parents of Reddit, what are some of the strangest things you have heard your children say while gaming? I'm going to do to you what the porcupine did to that gumball machine. My 9-year-old said I am going to poop in your pants to his friend. My 17-year-old came into my room while his girlfriend was over. He says, "Hey, if you hear loud moaning coming out of my room, we're not up to anything, We're just playing this weird Sonic game. I'm over here like okay, but that's worse. You see how that's worse, right? My 16-year-old keeps yelling dead. But I keep thinking he's saying dad. So I keep responding to him. One time when my brother was like 9, he came out of his room absolutely fuming because someone called him a furry on Roblox. My 6-year-old, at the time, was playing a Super Mario game, her favorite. Suddenly I hear "Get down the hole, you little bitch." I had to be the parent, but inside I was dying of laughter. People who work in morgues or with the dead, what is the creepiest thing you've witnessed? One of the deceased grandsons faked a breakdown over the casket. He stole all her jewelry. Didn't take long to figure out, and a large brawl broke out. Jewelry was retrieved. 2 weeks later, grandson turns up needing to be processed and buried. Creepy as hell. Sometimes when people have died, and we turn them over to clean and dress them, they still have air in their lungs and will make grunting noises when moved. Scared the crap out of me, the first time I experienced it. People who had been on blood thinner medication before they died can make for an odd scene. Saw a guy that had died looking out of his window, so he was discovered with his head on the windowsill and there was a thick column of jellied blood from his nose to the floor. It was a bit freaky. Men of Reddit, what are some less obvious red flags about men you would want to caution women against? So about his last 3 relationships and why they ended. If it is always the girl was crazy, it's him, Hess crazy. A friend of mine dated a guy who apparently everyone wanted to fight. At the gym. This guy over here want to throw down. At a mall. Those guys look like they want to get hit. At the grocery store. This dude is looking at me like he wants to go outside. No, Steve. No one feels like fighting you. You are just on steroids. Any aversion to taking responsibility. The older I get, the more I find that the men I respect most aren't the ones with great achievements to their names, but rather the ones who aren't afraid to own their shit. You'll be able to tell if a guy is nice by how he behaves. If a guy tells you he's nice, ignore that. That's meaningless. If they verbally attack you in an argument rather than discuss the issue. If they constantly shit-talk other guys. If you won the 1.9 billion lottery, what is the first thing you would do? Hire a damn good lawyer and accountant. Actually, I'd probably shit bricks. There's a muffler shop in my city that fucked me on a custom job about 5 years ago. I'd buy the lot next to them, charge half their rates, hire actual competent mechanics, and run the shop at a loss as long as it took to run their business into the fucking ground. I would legally change my name to Weather Radar so that anyone who tried to Google me couldn't find anything relevant. Buy shirts with very complicated patterns. I've already done some approximate math on this. I took cash value, shaved 40% for tax, no state income tax here, and assumed I'll live until 80. That gives me approximately $51,000 per day for the rest of my life, not counting interest earned. Nobody will ever hear from me again. Remove my phone case.
My husband splashed water on the dress I was going to wear to my brother's wedding because he thought it was too revealing. My husband and I were invited to my brother's wedding. I had a knee-length dress with straps on shoulder and back to wear to the wedding. My husband didn't want me to wear it and said he thought it was too revealing. I told him to relax and take it easy since the wedding was small and no strangers would be there. Besides, I thought the dress was fine, not too revealing like he said. He kept arguing with me about it and told me to wear something else, but I refused. He waited till I was wearing it, then splashed water all over it. I was in shock. Water was too cold and it covered my whole body, not just the dress. It also got to my face and hair. I froze there in shock and began to cry really loud. He was already in his suit ready to go to the wedding. He told me he'd be waiting for me in the car while I changed, but I screamed at him to F off and get out. He didn't even apologize, just kept ranting about how I ignored his feelings towards the dress and disrespected his opinion on it. I still feel upset and devastated by the whole thing. We're not speaking together and he thinks he did me a favor and kept my dignity and from being called a $%E. I'm struggling to let this go and I get suffocated whenever I recall the event. Should I let this girl know the real reason why I don't want to date her? A few weeks ago I got matched with a girl on a dating app. Conversation went well, we had a lot in common and eventually decided to meet up. Now, she didn't have a lot of pictures on her profile, but on all of them she was pretty normal weight. We meet up and it becomes clear that her pictures were old. This girl had gained a lot of weight since the pictures were taken. She was not grossly overweight or anything like that, but still quite big and not really my type. I didn't comment on it but just went along with the date. The date itself went well and we hit it off quite good, but I still felt lied to and didn't really want a second date. The girl keeps writing to me, I politely answer. I'm sure she expects a second date and I could just tell her that I didn't think the date went well, lie. Or I could tell her the real reason and maybe make her update her dating pictures so future dates won't feel lied to like I felt. My husband, M26, is participating in No Nut November. Throwaway account. Me, F22, and my husband, M26, have been married for almost 2 years. We don't have any kids and don't plan to for a long time. He found out about this whole no nut November bullshit a few months back and he's been wanting to try to go a whole month without nutting. The problem is I have a higher sex drive, once a day, but he can go for 3 to 4 days without sex, which I'm like fine whatever. But now I can't even get dick twice a week? I feel like I've married a child that follows internet trends. I feel like my marriage is gonna fall apart. I'm so done. And before anyone suggests toys, I can't do that. Toys can't match the feel of a real human. It's different.
Reddit, what's your most time with the boomers on this opinion? I want a human customer service operator, not an automated operator or chatbot. I don't need a subscription for everything. No, you don't need my phone number or email, just let me buy my shirt and get the fuck out of the store. Music in bars is too loud. Added to add that I've been a touring musician and live sound technician. I love music, but it actually sounds better at lower volumes, and I want to be able to hear it into my old age. Certain things shouldn't require you to download an app and or create a whole account, including ordering food in a restaurant, paying for parking, buying something online, sending a parcel. TV is getting too dark. Not emotionally, it is visually too dark and I can't see it. Screw fast fashion, my clothes should be made to last. I'm not rich so it's unavoidable, but I'm willing to spend extra on clothes that aren't made of plastic, and I do my best to repair my damaged clothing instead of throwing it out.